What's on your mind? Now it's you that shy. Girl, just ask me, do you feel this magic? Energy is blessing. Swear sound is fashion. Only one with me, baby. I'ma love you strong, baby. I'ma love you long, baby. You're my only one, baby. You're the one I want, baby. I'ma love you strong, baby. I'ma love you long, baby.
That wasn't even 4 minutes, y'all. That was a rough one. Okay, cool. I'm warm. Hopefully you guys are warm. Take a breather, take a breath. Gonna make my screen big here. All right. So from here, we're gonna go on to our backs and do our, Allie gave us a round of applause. We're gonna go on to our backs and do our hollow body plank positions. So friendly reminder, this is for your abdominal muscles. If you feel it in your neck, you're welcome to put your head on the ground. Just really think that you're bringing your sternum to your pubic bone. So that's always in contraction. A minute in hollow, flip right away, minute plank, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 15 seconds. Yeah, most of you guys have done this a lot. Yeah. Satan's niece. Jesse, you're Satan's niece apparently now. All right, here we go, y'all. Let's go into your hollow body. Again, if you have any questions or injuries or not sure how to modify something up or down, please unmute yourself and just let me know. All right, let's do it. And timer's on. And go. I'm gonna play some music while we're in this awkward hollow body. So go ahead and you're in your hollow. I'm just gonna put some random tunes on so we don't have to hang out in the silence over here. I'll try to turn it down a little bit. Who knows, maybe it'll play, maybe it won't.
between.
So remember to squeeze your upper thighs towards each other, your lower hips together. Push the floor away. Pull your belly button towards your spine.
I don't know about you, but I gotta get up, and I don't know how soon. But if we die, I wanna bring the whole
If you want to make it harder, you can bring your hands more in front of your shoulders.
Who cares about a game when it's all been replaced? Each level feels the same. It really goes either way. I don't know about you, but I gotta get up, and I don't know how soon. But if we die, I wanna bring the whole
And hollow.
Just another world that I gotta get a grip of and hold on to. Just another world that I gotta get a grip of and hold on. Just another world that I gotta get a grip of and hold on to.
And plank.
Just another world that I gotta get a grip of and hold on to.
Three, two, one, hollow. 15 seconds. And plank.
It's raining in. It's so cold here.
And relax.
Had reached out. You
Nice
got
work, y'all. Okay. I'm going to turn the music down. If you guys are fans of the music, I'll keep it on. If it's disruptive or you can't hear me as well, let me know. I'll just turn it off. Okay, so we're going to do our we're gonna do our squats or your pistol squats. So if you have, you can do these with a chair if you want, or you can do them with your hand on a wall. So whichever version you want, you can do it with 2 legs, like just regular squats, or 1 leg. If you're doing 2 legs, you can choose to do it turned out or in parallel. I'll show the without a stool or a chair. Then you're just keeping your belly engaged. Feet are a little wide and hip distance apart, and you're lowering and then coming up just a little bit. So you're doing squats this way. You can also do squats so that your knees are turned out over your feet, and squatting that way. Or you can work on, you can use a stool if you'd like. So, and you can use a stool with both legs on the floor and coming back up, or you can try with 1 leg going down and coming back up. If you are doing 2 legs especially, but you can also, any version of your squat, when you come back up, make sure that you're engaging your glutes and the backs of your thighs. So when you're all the way up, instead of just coming here and just relaxing, engage and lengthen and think that you're being sucked through a really narrow straw. Yeah? We'll do a total of 30, and you can, the music makes it a little hard to hear. Okay, great. That's good to know. Thank you, Jen. So we're gonna do a total of 30. And if you want to switch it up between those every 5, every 10, go for it. I'm gonna try to do 15 on each side, but we'll see how my knees do today. But yeah, total of 30. I'll count, but again, you can feel free to go at a slightly different speed. Make sense? Words are hard today. Okay. Let's do it. All right, team, here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, last one. Whew. All right, good work. All right, so we're going to do, we do a total of 100 push-ups in this class. Hooray! We're gonna do the first set of 30. I usually do it in 10s. So my suggestion is to keep your knees off the floor, engage your belly and glutes, and just go as low as you can so that when you push up, you're not waving your body. The first 10 we'll do tricep push-ups where your elbows are brushing against your rib cage. The second 10 we'll do military or wide arm push-ups. And then the third will be another version of tricep push-ups where your index finger and thumb are together on the ground, below your face. Obviously they're on the ground. What? Sorry. So we're gonna do 3 sets of 10, and you can do more or less. Holding a plank is always an option. Just make sure you don't feel it in your low back. This is for your arms and abs. So if you feel it in your low back, please interrupt me and I'll help you out. Yeah? All right, I'll count, but again, if you want to change pace, feel free. Here we go. Move this stool. All right, here we go. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can breathe a second if you need to. We're gonna do another 10, military style, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can breathe a moment, fingertip and thumb together. You probably won't go as low. 10 little Hershey Kiss push-ups, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Okay. And if you're still going to finishing up, take a moment or two to finish up and or catch your breath. The next thing we're going to do is to help, it's a shoulder opener and an ab exercise. And you can modify it to go deeper into one or the other. I'll give 2 variations. My shoulders are not open, so I'm not going that low to the ground. Sorry, I'm not going that low to the ground. However, if you can go, so in this shape, with my hands behind me, if you can slide lower than me here, go for it. Ideally, your hands are shoulder width apart. For me, as I lift my legs, I have to bring my hands a little bit wider, but you want to try to keep them as in line with your shoulders as possible. Your 2 leg options here are tuck, extend, and then slowly lower down without sliding forward, or lifting up and then slowly lowering back down. Try not to let your feet hit the ground. So even when you're doing the tuck version, you're trying not to let your feet hit the ground, squeezing your low belly. Make sense? So you want to try to slide your arms as far back as possible. I don't know if we have any super bendy people to show this shape here, but you want to try to slide yeah. I'm gonna spotlight my friend over here for a hot second. Let's see, I'll spotlight you. Hello. So see how her shoulders are pretty far back? So you can even slide down lower if your shoulders are that open. Thank you. You're more flexy than me. Okay, canceling the spotlight. Great. Questions, comments, concerns? Emily's also really low in there. So we're gonna do a total of 20. You shouldn't feel this in your back. You wanna really think about going slow with control. It's not about speed. And straightening if you have your straight leg version, try to keep your knees really, really straight. Make sense? So a total of 20. I'll count as I usually do, but again, please go at this pace that you need. Does anybody have any questions? Cool. All right. Okay, friends. So you're gonna slide your hands back as far as you can. And then the first one's always the hardest, like getting your feet off the ground. So let's take 1, 2, try not to bring your feet to the floor. 3, 4, 5, 6. So your arms should be straight in the back. 7, 8. Really pull your low belly in as you lift your legs. 9, 10. We're halfway there. Hooray! 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Keep trying to walk your fingertips back. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Slowly down. Whew. Nice work, y'all. So you can do a variation of those 2 things. If you just want to focus on your shoulder stretch, you could also, I'm not going to do that right now, but just for future reference, if you want to just work on that shoulder flexibility, you can just work on walking your fingertips back and practicing and breathing here to stretch your shoulders for that skin the cat, sorry, I'm debating something. Okay, so you can work on just that range, or you can work on just the lower lifts. How do I avoid this hurting in my elbows? So I feel like you feel it on the front of your elbow or the back, the front. You can do, I feel a little bit of that too. For me, it's like, oh, Rosie feels the same thing. For me, it's a bit of a stretch, but I understand if it's more than that because I feel that sometimes depending on what I'm doing. Give yourself like, let your arm have, instead of, especially as girls often have a hyperextension, it's just an anatomy. So think of letting yourself have like a micro bend versus straightening it and then having that hyperextension. So you can think about having a tiny little bit of a micro bend there and see if that helps in the future. I get a weird medial elbow twinge. Huh. So medial being when your palm is forward, that it's here, yeah? Who was it? Okay. Interesting. I would say to play with how wide your arms are. Maybe bring your arms a little bit wider apart instead of straight back, and allowing your elbows to have a slight bend, and see if that helps at all. Yeah, and then let me know if it doesn't. Yeah, no problem, Ian. All right, Ian. Ian? How do you say your name?
Diane, yeah, that really helped.
Ian. Okay, great. Great.
Thanks.
You are welcome. Okay, cool. We're gonna do another leg thing. We did this one last week, and you have options to make this a bit more challenging. So we're gonna go into so we're going from a squat with your, trying not to let yourself go forward. So really trying to get your shoulders over your pelvis as much as possible. You can also do this in turnout if you want to, that's totally up to you. We're going from both legs to one. So if you're in turnout, you would be in a turnout passe, or if you're in parallel, you would be in like a parallel passe. So just bring your knee up to balance. You can also make this harder in two different variations. You can go up into a calf raise or a releve when you come to balance. You can also balance a yoga block on your head without going to releve. So your yoga block will be on your head, and you're really trying to be a bit more mindful to go up. So that way you can't lean forward because you'll lose your block. Yeah, so we're gonna go through a squat and then back up. And just like we did when we did the pistol squats, make sure every time you come up, that you're really engaging the glute in the back of the thigh muscle, so you have energy shooting down your leg and lighting up the back side of your body, versus just like simply shifting your weight side to side. Does this make sense? Yeah? Okay, cool. We're going to do, Chelsea's falling asleep. We're gonna do, I got you. We're gonna do, let's do 10 right and left. Yeah. And then on the last one of each side, we'll take a balance and we'll try to hold it for 10 seconds on each side. Yeah? Okay, cool. Here we go. I'm gonna try this yoga block way. Kaplam. All right, so we're gonna start in a two-legged squat. Here we go. So down and up. Down, up. That's one. Down, up, down, up. That's two. Down, up, down, up. Three. Down, up, down, up. Four. Down. Oh God. Up. Down. Up. Five. Down. Up. Down. Up. Six. Down. Up. Down. Up. Seven. Down. Up. Down. Up. Eight. Down. Up. Down. Up. Nine. Down. Stay up. Balance. 10. Maybe on your tippy toes. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Squat. Same thing other side. Up. Balance. Maybe on your tippy toes with your heel off the floor. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. And coming on down. Nice work. All right. Great. We're going to do another set of 30 push-ups. So if you need to take little breathers between each 10, go for it. My suggestion this time around, and these are just like, again, offerings, you can do any push-ups you want, but if you want to switch it up a little bit, you can put your feet on an object, whether it's a bed or a couch or a chair or whatever, so that you're doing elevated push-up. That'll be a little bit harder. You can put your arms on an object, which will make it a little bit easier. Yeah, I'm just gonna give those two options for now. And then the other, you can do any push-ups of your choice. I only want to give one option at a time so I don't overload braids. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks, Will. Here we go. So 30 push-ups. You can do them in sets of 10s, always holding plank as an option, yeah? Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice. You can breathe a second if you need to. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Breathing if you need it. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Nice. Okay. So, nice work. If you're still finishing up your push-ups, take your time. So we're gonna do this ab series that NECA referred to as girly push-ups because they were hard. So I don't know why, but if you have some kind of if you are on a hardwood floor, or you don't have that much space, this does require a little bit of rolling. But if you don't have the room to roll, don't worry about rolling. I'll show a set. I'm actually gonna open up my little blanket over here because I got bony hip bones. And again, you can always do all these versions with bent legs. So it starts in how I'm gonna show once. So it'll be straight leg, straddle, tuck. You're gonna roll, do a Superman, and then if you have the room, you're gonna keep going that same direction. I don't really have that much room, so I'm gonna go back to where I came from. Same thing, straight leg, straddle, tuck, roll. Make sense? Will's shaking his fist at me. Luella's got it. Don't worry, Will. Luella's gonna girly sit up you under the table. All right, we're gonna do each set 10 times. So it's gonna be great. Andrew's face is like, whoa, you'll be fine. Feel it again, if you feel it in your hip flexors, allow yourself to bring your legs a little bit wider apart. You can also bend your knees. Really think about scooping that low belly. So that contraction and that sit up is coming from the place between your belly button and your pubic bone. Also be mindful that your shoulders aren't here. Really think about letting your shoulder blades give each other a little bit of a kiss so that your back is flat and your chest is flat and you're not sinking this way. Ready? Okay. Gonna give myself some more room so I can roll more. Okay, here we go. Feel like I have a picnic blanket over here. And hello, body. Are you ready? And V. Straddle, tuck, roll, Superman, roll, V, straddle, tuck, belly, Superman, back, V, straddle, belly, Superman, back. This is 4, V, straddle, tuck, belly, Superman, back, V. This is 5, straddle, tuck, belly, Superman, back, V, straddle, tuck, belly, Superman, back. This is 7, V, straddle, tuck, belly, Superman, back. This is 8, V, straddle, tuck, belly, Superman. 2 more sets, and V, straddle, tuck, belly, Superman. Last set, V, straddle, tuck, belly, Superman. Whoo, good job. Stay on your belly and go up into a cobra of your choice. So your hands can be farther from you if you need to. This is to stretch your belly muscles. So think about squeezing your glutes and tucking your tailbone so you feel the stretch in your belly and not really in your low back. It should be a front of body stretch versus a low back crunch. Breathing, loving life. All right. So you can stay in your stretch. I got a peek at my notes here. All right, so we just did abs. We're going to do a leg thing. Okay, so let's do, Okay, so we're going to do a leg lift series. I think we did a variation of this last week. Excuse me. So you're gonna put your feet on an object, whether it's a chair or a physio ball or couch, bed, whatever. Legs are gonna stay straight. Hips are gonna stay up so that from your foot that's on the object to your shoulders is a straight line. So your belly is engaged, your pelvis is up, and then keeping both legs straight and your pelvis up the entire time. You're gonna do 15 leg lifts with one leg, 15 with the other leg. You can do this in parallel or turnout. Again, if you're like, what the heck is turnout? Don't worry about it. If you do both parallel and turnout, if you're somebody that does a lot of turnout, do parallel. And if you're somebody that does a lot of parallel, like in dance or whatever, then try to turn out. The other way, Ash. So lay on your back. So I will show this, sorry. So your heels go on the object. Your arms are by your sides. Hips stay up the entire time. And then you'll do 15 leg lifts. And just like when we did our squats, every time your legs come together, squeeze the sides of your glutes towards each other and pull your belly button in and your rib cage in a little bit more. Allow that rib cage to hug your torso. Yeah. As per usual, I will count. However, if you want to go at a different pace than me, please ignore me and do your thing. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna wait one more moment while everybody finds their object. I'll just take a nap here. It's all good. All right. Are you ready? Here we go. Arms by your sides. You're gonna stay looking at the ceiling. Lift your hips up. Pull your belly button in. And then lifting one leg. 1, 2, squeeze your legs together. 3, keep that hip up. 4, the leg that's on the object is pressing down. 5, 6, 7, keep your hips up. 8, hip bones are even. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, switch legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep those hips up. 8, belly engaged. 9, straight knees. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Both feet on the object. Keep your hips up. You're going to lower your booty towards the floor. Don't hit the floor, and then lift it back up 10 times. Lower, lift, 8, lift, 7, lift, 6, lift, belly in, 5, lift, squeeze your booty, legs straight, 4, 3, so strong legs, 2, hold your hips up for 10, hold them up, 9, 8, belly in, 7, squeeze your legs, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lowering down. Nice work, team. Okay, Q-Will. Yeah, feel free to go into a pike or a plow stretch if you need to. Breathe a second, do what you need to do stretchy-wise. I'm gonna sip my water really quick. Talking and doing things makes you really out of breath really quick. All right, so far we've done a total of 60 push-ups. We're gonna do another set of 30. Yeah, I think we can do another set of 30. If you wanna, yeah, Shelby's like, yeah, of course we can. Duh. So feel free if you wanna do like, you wanna do longer breaks between your 10s, if you wanna do 2 sets of 15s, if you wanna hold a plank, all of those are fine. Just make sure that your belly is engaged, you're not arching the low back, yeah? So if you want this time to do another variation of a push-up, you can do down dog push-ups if you'd like. And in those, your elbows can either go towards your legs or out to the side. So your down dog push-ups can be here when my elbows go towards my knees, or I can have my elbows go out to the sides. I just want to make sure that my ears track along my arms. Yeah? Okay, cool. I'll call it, but as usual, go at whatever pace you need. Great. I can see, Kim, your background looks very artistic. It's like a black and white, like film or something. It's very artsy. All right, anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. You did 30 more. We've done 90 push-ups. Take your time if you're still finishing up. You're crushing it, you guys. Okay, so we're going to do an ab thing. So we're gonna do the weirdest ab exercise I know, which are their butt ups. I think we've done them before in this class. I'm not 100% sure. So these are really hard for me to count out loud, but I'll do my best. We're gonna do 20 slow and 20 fast. And what they are, ideally, your legs go to the ceiling, not towards your head in a plow. So ideally, and my low back doesn't curl that much, but if yours curls, then you're trying to crawl and roll through your low back. You can't, I'm not the best example of these, but your feet should go straight up, and as you lower, you're gonna try to scoop through your low belly to lower your butt back down. So we're gonna do 20 slow, which they're not so silly looking, but when you do it fast, which is like bounce, 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 it looks really stupid, but it's fine, we're all doing it. So you wanna scoop in the low belly between your pubic bone and your belly button, and you're really trying to roll through your low back. Mine's pretty flat, but you want to try to roll through as best you can. Make sense? Cool. All right, so 20 slow, 20 fast. I'll try to count. It's kind of hard for me to count, but yeah, here we go. First ones are slow. Feet to the ceiling, not towards your head as best you can. Arms are by your sides, palms down. 1, slowly down. 2, head is on the floor. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 fast. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Wah! Yay! Super silly. Okay, so we did an arm thing, we did an ab thing. We're gonna go back to a leg thing. Okay, so it is 7:03. We are going to do okay, so we're gonna lay onto our backs. I think we did these last time as well. Or sorry, we're laying on our belly. We're gonna do a set with knees together and a set with knees apart, but your feet are always touching. Your feet will be flexed for both sets. And then this is to work the backs of your legs, your hamstrings, and your glute muscles. So you don't wanna feel it in your low back. And you might a little bit, but if you don't feel it in your butt or backs of legs, then I want you to make the lift a little bit smaller. So you'll be on your belly. The first set, your legs are parallel, your feet are flexed. You can put your forehead on your hands, and you're trying to keep a 90-degree angle at your knees, lifting your legs off the floor and slowly back down, trying to keep your knees as close together as you can. So we're gonna do 15 of those. We'll breathe a second, then your knees can come a little wider and your feet will be like in a small diamond with your feet flexed and heels touching each other. Same thing, your forehead is gonna go onto your hands, squeezing your glutes and hamstrings to lift your knees off the ground, slowly back down, and they almost don't touch the ground, like they graze the floor, but don't completely relax between each one. We'll do 15 there. Yeah, holding your knees together in the first one's actually a little bit more challenging than legs turned out. It works a slightly different muscle group, but yeah. Make sense? Yay. Okay, here we go. So on your belly, if you can, belly engaged, bending your knees, trying to flex your feet and keep your knees as close together as you can, and lifting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, knees wider, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Nice. All right. So we're gonna do our last set of 10 push-ups, and then we're gonna do 20 tricep dips. You can do them on a chair or the ground. So your tricep dips, you can do them on the ground, just like these guys, trying to keep your pelvis up, or you can do them with your hands on a chair, and you can have both feet on the ground, or you can pick one leg up and have one leg on the ground. So 10 regular push-ups, 20 tricep push-ups. Yeah? Yay. All right, I miss you, Jesse. All right, here we go, friends. Let's do it. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And taking a second. If you're going into a chair, finding your chair for your tricep dips. All right, here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, last one, 20. Sweet. If you're still going, don't worry, take your time. Okay. Oh man, we got loads of time. We got like 7 more minutes. All right, so we're going to do I like this one a lot. This one is the side plank with a clamshell. The clamshell is with your thighs. One thing that I do want to point out about this one, and you can use a TheraBand loop or stretchy loop or like stretchy leggings if you want, but you don't have to. So normally, without the side plank lift, your clamshell would just be, so your knees would be like a 45-degree angle from your hip bone, and you're engaging the back, the top back of the glute to open this leg up, which is a hard isolation in and of its own. Yeah, but when I do that, since this leg can't move, my belly button's staying towards you. In my side plank lift, when I'm doing these guys, when my hips lift and lower, usually it's with your legs, but my belly button still stays towards you, and I'm lifting and lowering my pelvis. Combining the two things, you're gonna be on the shin of the bottom leg. As you lift your hips, you're engaging the glutes, so you're doing that side lift. However, don't do one of these where I'm like, it's hard to tell, but my belly button's up to the ceiling and I'm twisting. Try to keep your shoulders pretty square, and you're still trying to engage the sides of your glutes. Belly is still engaged, yeah? So as you close your knees, your hips are still off the ground. As you open them, you're lifting your pelvis up into the side and glutes engaged to open your knees. Does this make sense? Yeah, okay, cool. We're gonna do 15 and then we'll switch to the other side. Sweet, here we go. And here we go. And lifting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Before we do the other side, even though I'm counting the same pace, instead of opening and closing really quickly, open, try to hold for a split second longer and push, open your legs a little bit more with the sides of your booty muscles, and then close at the very last moment. So you have a little bit more time when your knees are apart versus resting when they're together. All right, other side. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, belly engaged, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Nice, better. Cool. All right. So the next thing we're going to do our calf raises because I love them. So we're going to do, we've been doing 20s and 10s. So this time we're going to do 30 and 15s. So we're gonna do 30 with your feet together, and then we're gonna do 15 on one foot, hold for 10 seconds, 15 on the other foot, hold for 10 seconds. Again, you can choose to do parallel or turnout. Just make sure that your ankles, whether you're in turnout or parallel, your ankles are coming towards each other. So if you're in parallel, you have like a magnet bringing your ankles towards each other. If you're in turnout, your heels and ankles are trying to come forward. Yeah. All right. So, and if anybody is joining for stretch, you can hang out and warm up while we finish our releves and such. All right. Here we go. So if you want to be near a wall or something to help you balance, feel free. You can also do, if you want to do both turnout and parallel, you can do 15 and 15, up to you. All right, here we go. And 1, 2, 3, slowly down. 4, 5, knees are straight. 6, 7, 8, engage the backs of your legs. 9, straight knees, glutes engaged. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, stay up for 5, 4, stay up, 3, heels towards each other, 2, 1, slowly lower. Take a second, stretch your calves out before we do singles. Crushing it. All right. So from here, we're doing singles. Again, you can be in parallel or turnout. We're gonna do 15 and then hold for 10 seconds. Here we go. So if you're in parallel, your foot is right next to your ankle. If you're in turnout, it's a coupe, up to you. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, slowly down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How high can you get that heel? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Stretch your calf out for a moment before we do the other side. And then when you're ready, other side. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, heel all the way up. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, stay out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Stretch your ankle out or calf out. Not your ankle. Silly. Take a moment to stretch your ankle or your calves out. I just said it again. Great. Cool. Oh man. We're like 1 minute over. Conditioning people, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Kim, shoot me an email or a message on Insta. And for anyone, y'all, I know I changed my personal schedule for various reasons, but talk to me. Shoot me an email, which is now in the thing, or a DM on Insta, and let me know like what you're looking for, and maybe like evenings, daytime, blah blah blah. I know that, Chloe. But you're so welcome. But let me know like what you guys are looking for, and I'll see what I can do. I'm still like playing with my schedule. Yeah. Oh, my IG is it's the same. That's right there. Yeah. I'm gonna let some more people in over here. But yeah, feel free to let me know. And also feel free to give me any kind of feedback if you have things you like, things you hate. It just helps me continue to build the class and stuff. But yeah, we should start Stretchy Land. Feel free, if you're sticking around, awesome. If you're peacing out, it was a pleasure to have you. And if you're new and just joining us, welcome. I am Christine. Hello. Let me just make sure everybody's in the room here. Oh, yay, I'm so glad, Asia. Awesome. You are so welcome. Good to see you. All right, cool. All right, team. The last class, we did like some jumpy around land to a song. I'm tired, but I guess we'll do it again. All right, so my sound is connected. We're going to do jumping jacks on the beat over here. I wonder, I guess we'll do the same song, even though it was a little slow. Okay, cool. So we're gonna start on jumping jack land. You're gonna start, I'm putting my shoes on because my knees are old. I'm gonna hit play on this song here. And as per usual, if you have any questions, comments, aches, pains, concerns, any of that jazz, feel free to unmute yourself and let me know. Stand on up. We'll just do some jumping around before we stretch. Great song. My bad. I'm sorry. We'll do this one. Okay. So you're doing jumping jacks? Hard, it's a little faster than before. Keep going. What am I doing? Apart, 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 apart. Good.
Give me love, give me love, give me love, give me love when I'm
One side.
gone. Give me love, give me love, give me love, give me love when I'm gone. Swing around front, let me inside, playing my song into my sides. It hurts, I can't lie. Remember those times I fought to get out. I want to get out. Those pictures so clear, fade in my mind. You're leaving me here with ashes and fire. These people don't heal, these people don't feel, these people are real. So make me this deal. Won't you give me love, give me love, give me love, give me love when I'm gone. Look into your heart and let me know. Do things turn black and gray as they go? When I'm far too gone, can you show me love? Give me love.
And from here, just jump another set of jumping jacks. Just a little slow here. Slowing it down a little bit. I'm going to turn the tunes off so you can hear me. And from here, if you've just joined us, just following along, we're going to just do a light stretchy land before we dive into our our full stretch class land, feel free in the chat box to pop in some requests. You don't have to. And then after we do just like a basic movement warm up, I'll take a peek at them. Yeah. All right. So if you're not typing a request in, stand on up, and you're gonna keep your belly engaged. Make sure your pelvis is neutral. Your rib cage is hugging your torso, and you're really trying to lengthen the crown of your head towards the ceiling, heels through the floor. And from here, keeping that beautiful posture, you're going to make some big, slow head circles. And then when your right ear gets towards your right shoulder, keep your shoulders down and keep your right ear towards your right shoulder. If you want, you can extend your left hand out to the side. You can also grab your right hand on the left side of your head. And then bringing your chin towards your shoulder. And then slowly releasing, circling your head the other direction. And then bringing your head towards your left shoulder. So my left ear is towards my left shoulder. I forget that you're mirrored, so I have to say it backwards, but I'll switch the way I'm speaking next round. But your left ear is towards your left shoulder, and your right arm is extending out to the side. If you'd like, you can bring your left hand to the right side of your head. Make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. And then chin to chest, looking down while your left ear is toward your left shoulder. And then releasing your hands from your head, bring your chin to your chest. Your shoulders are still nice and long, so your shoulder blades are kissing each other along your spine. Bring your hands to the back of your skull, and then give the top of your head a little bit of weight. And you can gently shake your head side to side, stretching out the top of your back and spine. And from here, you can have a little bit of softness in your knees. You're gonna roll down. I'm gonna just change my camera so you can see me a little bit better. So you're rolling down. You can bend your knees slightly, especially if you have any hamstring issues. And from here, you're gonna do a slight bend of your knees. Try to keep your belly on your thighs and straighten your legs as best as you can, keeping your belly connected to your knees. And again, bending your knees, keeping your head really, really heavy, and straightening your legs as much as you can with your belly on your legs. Walking yourself out into a downward dog. Shoulders stay sliding away from your ears. Belly button in towards your spine. Arms are straight. Armpits are pressing towards your knees. If you can, legs straight. If you have any kind of pull in the top of your hamstrings by your butt, give yourself a little baby knee bend. And bringing your right leg up. Make sure your hips are square so your leg won't go very high. The toes pointing towards the floor, your knee is pointing towards your floor. And then now you can open your leg up so that your hips are open, your shoulders are square. And reach that foot towards the ceiling. Doing little pulses, engaging your glute muscles to reach that leg up and back a little bit higher. Bending that knee and opening your hip up out to the side. And then big circles at your hip joint. So your knee is bent and you're circling your thigh. And then stepping that right foot forward into a lunge. And then when you're in your lunge, really think that you're tucking your tailbone under. You're trying to pull your rib cage over your hip bone, trying not to arch in the lower back. Really getting that pubic bone stacked right underneath your hip bones. Straightening and lengthening the back knee. And then bring your hands to the floor. You can rest the knee onto the floor. Hi, baby girl. And then straightening that front leg. We'll get deeper into hamstrings and stuff. This is just like a little warm-up-y guy. And then from here, going back into your downward dog. And left leg up. Again, you're doing parallel first so that your knee and your toes of the lifted leg are towards the floor. And then you're going to open that hip up, engaging your glute muscles. You can do little pulses to lift your leg toward your head a little bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knee, open your hip up. And then making big circles. Another direction. And step your foot into a lunge. Remember to tuck your pubic bone forward a little bit. The back hip comes forward, your pubic bone comes forward, your belly button is engaged. Make sure you're not arching in the low back. Frankie, come here. Go lay down. Lay down, bud. Good girl. Lay down. Good girl. And then from here, you can put the back knee onto the ground. And straightening that front leg. And then you're going to come onto your hands and knees. Since my dog stole my blanket that I use as a knee pillow, I have to grab my knee pad. Oh, thank you, Dr. There we go. I got it back. All right, so you're going to go on hands and knees. And let's do some cat-cows. I want to encourage you to really think that your spine is like a wave. So you can play with just arching, lengthening the back of your neck, and curling. You can also play with how can that be a little more fluid. You can also do that through a downward dog if you'd like, but we'll start on hands and knees. So hands and knees, and then starting with a arch so that your heart goes forward, pulling your shoulder blades towards your spine. And then curling, lengthening the back of your spine, trying to pull that belly button towards the ceiling. You can shift back a little bit. And then you can keep doing that at your own pace, or you can try to make little waves with your spine. And then we're gonna make big cement truck circles. So your rib cage goes to the side, your head and pelvis going the opposite direction. And then big circles. So side, up, down, and side. If the head confuses you, feel free to not do a direction of the head, other direction. Nice, and then you guys are gonna go into your puppy pose, so staying on your knees. You're walking your hands forward, pulling your belly button in toward your spine. Straight arms that are shoulder width apart, chin towards the floor. Maybe you get your throat on the floor, and then trying to get your armpits and chest towards the ground. So stay there, your pelvis is above your knees. I'm just gonna see if anybody said anything in this little chat box here. Okay, cool. And then from here, hopefully your knees aren't dead. Come back to your hands and knees. We're gonna do, in yoga, it's called thread the needle, but you're gonna bring your, I'm gonna face you. I'm gonna say the opposite hand of what I'm doing because you're mirrored. So take your left hand, bring it underneath of your right shoulder, or right arm, and you're putting your left shoulder on the floor, left side of your head on the floor. So you're trying to keep your hip bones towards the floor, but rotating in your spine so that your sternum comes towards the wall or the ceiling. If you'd like to increase the stretch, walk your right fingertips over your head or behind your head to really spiral in the spine. Trying to look past that right armpit. And then slowly unraveling, you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So coming back to your hand, taking your right arm, going underneath the left hand, putting the right shoulder on the floor and your right side of your head on the floor. You can stay here or extend that left arm over your head or walk it back and behind you, trying to rotate your chest towards the ceiling. Don't forget to breathe. And then we're gonna slowly come on out of that guy. And let's go into, I see, oh, who is this? Okay, so, wrist, oh, yes. Ooh, sorry. Aaron, yes, wrist stretches are great. So let's do some wrist stretches before we get into our, like, any other things on our hands. So we'll do, let's sit in a butterfly. So feet together. I'm gonna take my sneakers off over here. I apologize for the dog barking. And then feet together. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, and you can tip yourself forward here. So I'm sticking my booty out and thinking about pressing my knees to the floor. While you're there, you can also just sit up, especially if that's a stretch in and of itself. But while you're there, you're just gonna make fists and making circles with your wrists. Other direction. And then from here, bringing your feet out into a straddle. You can either be, I want you to make sure you feel balanced. So if you can't sit up straight in a straddle, bring your butt onto a block or a blanket, or you can bring your straddle a little bit narrower. So in your straddle here, you're gonna take your hands, rotate your fingertips to the side and then towards you, and then try to bring your fingertips towards you and press your palms of your hands to the floor. So if you don't feel a wrist stretch here, you can shift your hands a little bit more in front of you so that your shoulders are closer to where you're sitting. So instead of your shoulders being right over your wrists, if you bring your shoulders farther from your wrists, it'll increase the stretch in the front of your forearms. And from here, if you want to also use this as a straddle stretch, you can scooch your legs a little bit farther back as you bring your hands forward. So we're doing both straddle and forearms at the same time. Hooray. And then from here, gently take your weight out of your hands. You're gonna rotate so that your backs of your hands are on the ground. So the backs of your hands are on the ground. Keep a bend in your elbows at first, and then slowly straighten your elbows. Sometimes this is a little extreme for people, so backs of your hands onto the floor, straighten your elbows if you can. If that's still not a stretch, you can gently shift your shoulders back away from your wrists to increase the stretch in your wrists. And then you're gonna gently let it go. Awesome, okay. So before, I have another wrist one that actually, I think, is Will still in here? No, Will showed me this one. So this is another wrist one, and then we'll shift out of wrist land for a bit. So I really, really like this one. This helps with rotation. So my hand is here. So this is my, I have to say it backwards, my right hand. So my right hand is rotating, so my thumb is towards you. My left hand is gonna go on like the pinky side of my right hand. And I'm gonna take my fingers and wrap them around like the squishy bit of my thumb, which at first that's like not a big deal. But I'm gonna scooch back so you can see. So you're gonna bring your hand close to your heart, and I'm pushing into my thumb and pulling with my fingers and bringing my right hand towards my belly button. So I'm trying to pull my fingers to spiral my thumb open so the palm of my right hand is going towards you. At the same time, I'm trying to bring my hand lower, closer to my belly button. If you don't feel a stretch here, let me know. So I'm really trying to push into this side of, it's hard. I'm pushing into my pinky side of my hand with my left thumb, and I'm pulling my right hand open with my left hand. So I'm really trying to spiral the palm of my right hand as I slide my hand down towards my belly button. And then coming on up, we'll do it on the other side. This is the stretch I did so much when in 2012, I broke my wrist and dislocated my elbow, and I couldn't rotate my hand, my thumb, like I couldn't rotate more than this. So I couldn't do palm to the ceiling at all. And I did this stretch a whole lot. Will showed me, it's a judo stretch, and it helps so much. It also helps if you're doing aerial, it helps with flamenco grip a lot. So it's another thing to help with. Okay, shake your hands out. Make sure you give yourself like a moment, especially if that felt really deep for you. Just give yourself a little moment of stretchy land. All right, so what time is it here? Let's do, gonna double check. Okay, we'll do a little bit of like hip flexors and hamstrings, and we'll do some shouldery things and some twists, which is a lot of things. So let's start. Let's start laying on your back, and if you have a strap of some sort, you can use a strap, or you can just use your hands, up to you. A strap can be like a piece of fabric, it can be a belt, it can be a pair of like yoga pants, or a long sleeve shirt, anything you want. If it's not stretchy, that might be a little bit more helpful, but if it's stretchy, it's okay. For my people that are easily doing oversplits, you're gonna put your sacrum, like the top of your butt, on a yoga block. So, and if you don't have oversplits, you can still do this. It's just activating the bottom leg a little bit more. But we're going to, you can put your strap around your top leg. We're just gonna gently guide that leg towards our faces with straight knees. We're not gonna kick into it or anything just yet. The bottom leg, whether your leg is on the floor or not, if your butt is on a block or if your butt's on the floor, you want to keep that bottom leg active. Squeeze the glute and engage that side of your booty to press that bottom leg towards the floor as much as possible. Try to keep the leg that's coming towards your face in line with your belly button, and your bottom leg is also in line with your belly button. So you're really trying to press this leg down to the floor, and this leg's coming towards your face. We're gonna hang out here for another 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, you're going to, so with your strap or with your hands, so super flexy people, you're going to keep holding your ankle or your foot. Not as flexy people, hold on to your strap. You're going to keep your hip bones towards the ceiling and bring your leg out to the side so that if you're super bendy, you're bringing the leg towards your ear. If you're not so bendy just yet, you're just bringing your leg out to the side, keeping both hip bones onto the floor. And we're gonna hang out here so that your knee is rotating towards the top of your head, towards the floor, not towards the ceiling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Circle that leg around. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So super bendy people, or if you want more of an active stretch, put your pelvis on a block or a little pillow or a folded blanket. You're gently guiding the top leg towards your face, and you're squeezing the glutes of the bottom leg to try to get that leg towards the floor. If you have any hamstring issues, feel free to give a bend in that leg so you're not affecting any pulled hamstrings. I say that a lot because I have a pulled hamstring, so I don't want anybody else to pull their hamstring. So if you need to like slightly bend your knee, please do so. Really active in the back and the leg that's towards the floor. So that leg is pressing to the ground as much as possible. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then from here, that leg is either going out to the side, you have your hand on your strap, or you're bringing your leg towards your shin towards your ear. Make sure your hip bones are square, and then we're gonna hang out here, gently guiding that leg up either out to the side so your legs are nice and strong, or you're pulling your shin towards your ear. Your knees are trying to go towards your ear or towards the floor. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly rotating that leg around. And then we're going to come onto your belly. If you need a pad for your knee, please grab that. So we'll do a modified pigeon. So there's versions of this. If you want to challenge, if pigeon is not as intense as you would like it to be, then you're going to put your shin on a block. I was in a class and they called it turbo pigeon, and then you'd be here. So trying to keep that back leg straight, whether you're on the ball of the foot or the top of the foot, and then that top hip bone is going to go to the floor. Or you can do a regular pigeon, which is still intense in itself, where you're really trying to push. So this is my left leg, so my right hip is going forward towards the floor, and your belly's engaged, and you're really trying to find the stretch in that hip flexor. So you can be here, engaging that back leg, so it's not just relaxed, it's active, or you can have yourself in your turbo pigeon with your shin on your block. We're gonna hang out here for 10, 9, 8, belly engaged, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, if you're in turbo pigeon, you might want to take your block out from your shin. You're going to gently bend that back leg. Try to keep it in line with your side and don't let it wing out to the side at all. So you want to try to keep it as a tail. From here, you have a lot of options. So one option, so make sure that hip bone is still pressing towards the floor. If you want, you can try to grab that foot. Try to keep both of your shoulders towards the wall in front of you and don't spiral. So we're going to try to stay square with the shoulders. You can kick that foot into your hand and try to keep pushing your hip bone in the opposite direction so that you get a stretch through the resistance. Or you can bend the knee and push the foot towards your bum. Both are valid, they just are slightly different. So whichever way that you feel more of a stretch today, one's a little bit more active and this one's a little bit more passive. If you are a super bendy person, because I know there's a couple of you guys in here, if you want to reach one hand across or your opposite hand across and then flip your grip of the other hand, you can rotate to go up to bring your elbows to the ceiling and foot towards the back of your head. Make sure you're keeping that hip towards the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly release. Try not to just like flail yourself down. And then from here, we're gonna keep that leg in the front. The back leg is gonna come around, cross in front. So I'm crossing my right leg on the outside of my left knee. My right hand goes behind my back, and you're gonna take your left arm to the outside of the right knee, and you're twisting, thinking about growing through your spine, lengthening through the spine first, and then rotating and twisting. So you're inhaling, trying to separate your vertebra and lengthen your spine, you're kind of bringing it to the ceiling. As you exhale, you're wringing out a towel, trying to really look over that shoulder a little bit more. Can you find more rotation in your low back, in your middle back, in your upper back, in your neck? Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rotate. And then you're gonna unwind. You have options here. You can either stack your knees on each other and make sure you're not sitting on your ankle, or you can stack your ankle on your knee. Just make sure that it is you're not stickling your foot. You want to make sure that the ankle is nice and strong and flexed. So either version of those, and then you're going to walk your hands forward, and we'll relax over for 3 deep breaths. And from here, you're going to unwind. We're gonna do, actually, before we do all that on the other side, so the same leg that was in front of me for pigeon is still in front. We've done this before. So this is like, in dance, they call it like a fourth position on the floor where like one knee is in front and one leg is behind. Whatever foot is in front, that hand's gonna go behind you, and you can put your elbow on the floor, other elbow on the floor. Be kind to your knees. If you feel any pinches in your knees, then don't go any deeper and just hang out. You could also come out and release it a little bit. If you're chilling, it does not hurt your knees, you can put your whole back onto the floor here. You should feel a stretch on the inside of the thigh. Staying there for a moment. People are talking to me. Yeah. So, double pigeon for non-bendy people. Yes, this is a great question. So, the back leg, where the back leg is going to affect where the stretch is. You should feel the stretch. It's like a diagonal from the hip bone of the back leg across the top of the thigh, and it kind of goes into the inside of the knee of the back leg. If your leg is too far forward, when you lean back, it's not going to really feel like much of anything. You want to try to bring that leg back. The more that knee goes towards the floor, and the more you engage that glute to lift up, the more you'll feel it in the hip flexor. So play with how far back your knee can go, and you should feel it in the hip flexor the most part, and then it crosses to the inside of the leg a little bit more. Hopefully that is helpful. And then from here, we're gonna come on up. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Justin, was that helpful at all or not really? And it's totally okay if it wasn't really helpful.
I think I was referencing the wrong stretch. I'm talking about the one we did before that, where we crossed both of our ankles and our knees over each other.
Yeah, okay.
That one was pretty intense.
So that
guy.
This guy? So this stretch and the stacked one this way are super similar. Depending on where you're tight is gonna, like, one like just feels a little better sometimes than the other. But these ones will stretch the outside of your hips. It is super intense. And for, especially if you run, if you're a runner or a biker, anything that's on this like parallel plane, that side of, or you sit a lot, just sitting here is intense. So folding over intensifies the stretch, but you're still in a stretch if you're still just like cross knees, but it usually is the outside of the thighs.
And trying to keep the both hips planted.
Yeah.
Right.
Both hips, both sides of your glutes should be on the floor. And sometimes when people are in this one, and also play with, you can do the stacked one, or where your shins are stacked like a log cabin. And you can also do the one where both knees are stacked and you're trying to get both sides of your butt on the ground. That double knee stack is intense if both sides of your butt is on the ground. And just sitting here sometimes is more than enough. But if it hurts your knees, revert back to this guy. Makes sense? For
Yes, thank you.
absolutely. For fire log, the feet over knees version, it can feel nice to put a block between the foot and the knee. Yes, Erin, great, thank you. Yep, Erin's right. If you don't understand what Erin was saying, if you want for this like the stacked one, you can also put your block between your knee and ankle. You can also stack it any variation of ways. Sometimes when you have a tactile thing, your body will relax a little bit deeper into the stretch. Okay, let's do pigeon on the other side. So you're either in your regular pigeon or your turbo pigeon. So your turbo pigeon is when your shin is on the block. Trying to keep the top of the knee, the top of the back foot, the top of the knee towards the floor, really trying to straighten and lengthen that leg. And you're trying to get that hip bone of the back leg towards the floor as best you can. And then from here, pull your belly in. Instead of arching in the low back, really think that you're pulling that pubic bone forward and underneath your hip bones and bringing your shoulders over your pelvis. So pulling, engaging your belly. We're gonna hang out here, super strong, straight back leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping that hip bone forward. You're gonna bend the back knee. And either bringing the heel to butt, or you're gonna kick into that hand, keeping both shoulders square. If you've never done one version, try the version you haven't tried and see if you like it better. You never know. Make sure you're trying to square both shoulders. You're pulling that hip bone towards the floor. Pulling your belly button in. If you're a super bendy person, you can sneak that hand around. How do I normally do this? I often, or used to when I was super flexy, would bring my opposite hand across to grab my big toe and then sneak my hand around and then rotate elbows to the sky. If you have a different variation that you'd like to grab your foot in, go for it. You're trying to get your elbows to the ceiling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly release. And then you're gonna take that back leg, bring it around to the outside of the knee that was in front. So my left arm's going behind, my right elbow snuggles to the outside of the left knee. Lengthen your spine, so sitting up really tall, and then rotating around. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, try to twist a little deeper. One more time, inhale, crown of the ceiling, crown of your head to the ceiling, keeping both sides of your butt on the ground. Exhale, twist. How far can you see over that shoulder? And coming back to center. Same as before, you're either stacking your knees on each other or stacking your shins. And then from here, another little magic secret game. It's not really secret or a game, but I feel like it's a magic trick. If you have a block in front of you and you stack your fists and put your head on, so especially if you're tight, go to a place where you can touch your head to your hand. And as you breathe here, as long as there's something semi-close, as you exhale, lower your height by taking your fist to the palm of your hand and then removing one fist, maybe removing the other fist. And then as long as your head can touch something, it's really weird, your back will relax a little bit more. So you can play with that. It's a strange thing, but you can slowly lower and your head goes a little farther than you normally would. And then we're gonna unravel. Let's go, we're gonna go and revisit our straddle again. We'll do some side bends. So we're trying, in our straddle, I want you to really think about stretching on your back, between the top of your pelvis and the lower part of your rib cage, there's these two rectangular muscles it's QL muscle or the quadratus lumborum. If you're sitting a lot all day, that usually tenses up a lot. So anything that can side bend to loosen that up will relieve some of your back pain. So that's what I want you to think about stretching when you're in your straddle. So your legs are gonna go as wide as you can, as long as you can sit up tall. Try to keep both sit bones, both sides of your pelvis on the ground the entire time. If you're super bendy, make sure that you're lengthening and you're still really extending through your legs. We're gonna side bend over. For my super bendy friends, try to snuggle the shoulder in front of the leg, but don't let yourself go to the floor. Spiral to the ceiling. So you can really think about getting your leg towards the back of your head and you're looking at the ceiling versus just crumpling towards the floor. So it's a spiral and a side bend. Good, Ash, yeah. And for my not so bendy people, and for bendy people, make sure both sides of your butt are on the floor. Opening that arm by your ear, so try not to let your arm go to the back of your head. And then from here, let that top arm open, flex your hand, and reach your fingertips towards the floor behind you. Spiral your chest towards the ceiling. Let your head and neck open. Flex that hand so your fingertips reach towards the floor. Legs are long. 3, 2, 1. Bring that hand back. And then you're going to come on up. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So stretching over. And again, if you're a super bendy friend, trying to snuggle that shoulder in front of your thigh, and you're spiraling your chest, your sternum towards the ceiling. Maybe you're grabbing that ankle and pulling it off the floor behind your head. That's a super bendy people thing. If you're not a super bendy people thing, don't worry about it. Really extend through that arm so you can feel a stretch in your side body, keeping both sides of your butt on the ground. And then from here, that top arm is going to reach back and behind you. Flex the hand and reach your fingertips back. So really flex through your whole wrist. Fingertips are reaching towards the floor. You can open up your throat, chest to the ceiling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rolling through. From here, we're gonna go into a frog position or a center, like a middle split. So if you're a flexi friend, you can just roll into your center split. If you're a middle flexi friend, you can roll into your middle split and you can use a block or something to put your chest on. If you're like, what the heck are you talking about, Christine? You're gonna go into a frog. So if you're not as flexy, it's all good. You're gonna go into a frog where your knees are in line with your pelvis. and your knees are at a 90-degree angle, tucking your tailbone and letting your pelvis be nice and heavy. In both your straddle or your frog, you can just chill here, or you can gently rock your pelvis towards the crown of your head and towards your heels. You can also play with tucking your tailbone a little bit. Usually that intensifies the stretch a bit. You really want to try to find the deepest stretch on the insides of your thighs, and that might be at a slightly different spot than you're used to. If you're super duper bendy, feel free to put your feet on blocks in your middle split. We're gonna hang out here for another 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly coming out, however you choose. Let's see what time it is before we get into shoulder land. Okay, great. Still have lots of time for shoulders. Tips for protecting knees while moving from straddle to middle split. Yeah. So when you shift, do you feel on the insides of your knees? Like, is it this part or the center of your joint?
It's like right, oh, that's dark. Right, like here.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
In the straddle, it's fine, and when I'm in the middle split, it's fine. But in the middle, it feels not so good.
Okay. Couple of thoughts on that one. So that, since it's like a big range there, that is those are the tendons that connect to your muscles. So a couple of things you can do is either like before you stretch is either roll out on a foam roller or with like a stick thingy, like one of these, like, or if you don't have one of these, it's just like a rolling pin also works. Or ball, absolutely. Anything to roll out the belly of the muscles. So on the back of the hamstring and also the calf, because all that's connected. You can gently roll out the back of the knee, but don't put your full weight on it and go easy so that you don't injure anything back there. So that's one thing. The other thing, make sure that you're not locking your knees out, but you should be strong and extending through your legs the whole time. And the third thing is put more weight in your hands and lift up and walk over. Sorry, lift up and walk over, and then you can look hard when you here, sit over here. Frankie, go sit. Good girl. So you can put weight into your hands to shift over instead of relying on all of that to take into the legs. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay, cool. I saw another comment. I have that problem too with that tendon, and my therapist friend has me massaged with a smooshy ball a few times a week. Awesome, which is why you popped open your smooshy ball. Leo, did she say did she say anything different than what I was saying? Because she's a therapist. No, okay, so
No, pretty much the same thing, but I can't even lean there without pain. So, yeah, the level might be different, but yeah, that seems to help the most. Even just mushing it with your fingers sometimes too, because that if you're really strong in the legs, it gets really tight there.
mm-hmm.
So even just touching it sometimes could hurt.
Yep, I've experienced that before. It's common. If like finding the belly of the muscle that's connected to the tendon and giving that like gentle massage helps release the pressure. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. Yes, let's do a little shoulder stuff and then we'll go into some bridge lands. So we'll do a quick gentle shoulder stretch and then we'll do a wall variation, and at the wall I'll have a couple of different intensity levels so you can make it less or more intense if you need to. Frankie stole my knee pillow again, so I'll use this thing. You're going to get a chair or a stool of some sort, or a bed or a couch, whatever you need to do. and you're gonna put your flat hands onto the edge of the chair, rib cage in, and then pressing your armpits and shoulders towards the floor as best you can. So really thinking about pulling your shoulder blades towards each other, chest to the floor, armpits to the floor, nice and heavy. You're gonna hang out here for 10 seconds, really straightening your arms as best you can. Long neck, belly's engaged, pressing your armpits towards the floor so it is active. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then from here, same thing, except this time you're going to have your elbows onto the edge of the item. You can keep your hands in prayer to the ceiling, or you can bring your thumbs towards your back. Whichever you feel more of a stretch, make sure you're not sticking your low belly out. And then actively pressing your armpits towards the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming on out. All right, so we've done this wall stretch a handful of times. Guys are going on an adventure. Okay. So in your wall stretch, you can have your hands flat on a wall, or you can have your hands on blocks. No matter what, your arms are in line with your shoulders and your elbows are straight. There's 2 versions. The first version is belly engaged, and you're just really trying to press your armpits to the wall, chin up to the ceiling, but your back is not arching. So, sorry. My low back is staying long, and I'm not sticking my butt out. So the belly is engaged, and you're really pressing your armpits to the wall. So that's version 1. You can do both or one or the other. Version 2 is sticking your booty out and allowing your fingertips to slide lower on the wall. Elbows are still very, very straight, and trying to push your heart and throat up onto the wall. Make sense? So make sure that you're looking up at the ceiling. Your chin is up onto the wall, your throat's on the wall, your arms are straight. Pressing your armpits and your chest towards the wall. So this should feel like a stretch in your armpits and upper back, excuse me. And if you feel it more in your low back, then try the first version. Cool. And then from here, you can slowly come on out. We're going a little fast, I know, sorry. Okay, so we're gonna do a couple of variations again. So you can stand away from the wall, and then for the first round, you can bend your knees a little bit, but make sure that your pelvis comes forward. You're going to, so right now my knees are bent. I look at my fingertips, I'm gonna reach my arms back to the wall, and then bring my hands to the wall. From here, try to put the whole palm of your hand on the wall with straight arms and push your pelvis forward. And then coming on up. So you're trying to put your flat palms on the wall, arms straight, pressing your pelvis forward, and you can try to slowly straighten your knees. If that is too easy for you, you can do a drop back to a little bit farther down the wall, or if you're chilling with drop backs and want to drop right back into your bridge, you can do that. My suggestion for those of you that are comfortable in bridges, the first one, just do it as a warm-up bridge, and the second round, I'm going to give you something to make it a little bit harder. So you're either doing your drop back, palms of your hands to the wall with straight arms and straight legs, trying to press your hips forward to come up, or you're gonna drop back towards your bridge on the floor, hanging out there for a moment or two, and then the next round I'll give you another challenge. Nice, good, awesome guys. Really activate the backs of the shoulders to reach your arms behind your head. Belly's engaged. That looks good, Madeline. And let's do like 2 or 3 more. And just as usual, if you feel lightheaded or dizzy or your back just needs a moment, feel free to like go into child's pose, do some side twists. Any of those things are absolutely fine and welcome. And then Leah B, see if you can walk your arms in line with your ears. Excuse me. Yeah. Uh-huh. Nice. So much. That was really good, Leah. Nice correction. All right. And then from here, you have options again, as always. So my super bendy people, if you're chilling in a bridge, this time you can bring your hands, the palms of your hands to the wall, like so not on the floor, but actually palms of your hands to the wall, and you're gonna try to press your chest against the wall. That's for my super bendy friends. You can also do another option is to just do a regular bridge or wheel if you're a yogi person, or if you want to do something a little bit more gentler and passive, if you have an object, whether that is a yoga block or the arm of a couch, you're going to put a block or bring your back on the arm of a couch and bring your block to your shoulder blades or the arm of your couch to your shoulder blades, belly engaged, and then you can drape over, arms straight overhead. And if you want, you can bring a light weights into your hands. You can also put something behind your head if it's too much on your neck, and actively pressing your arms towards the floor, or you can hold like 2 or 3 pound weights in each hand, but make sure your belly is engaged so that you're finding your stretch in your shoulders and not just like flailing and drooping everything open. So it's a little bit active, it's passive, quote unquote. Nice, Erin. Good. Yeah. Otherwise, nice, Leah. Try to straighten those elbows. You can bring your hands a little bit wider apart. Otherwise, you can try to push up into your bridge. Ashlyn, try to bring your armpits forward a little bit more. So not butt to head, but armpits. Nope, hands the other way. Bring your hands closer to your ankles, Ash. And now try to press your armpits away from your legs. Yeah. Nice. And then really thinking about trying to squeeze your glutes and press your straightening your legs a little bit if possible. Nice, Jen. Good. Andrea, if you can bring your feet a little closer together and a little bit more parallel. Nice. Good correction. Beautiful. Nice, Mad. Nice. All right. And then I'm going to give, oh my gosh, it's 8:15. Man, time flies. So we'll do a little twist. I'm going to do my favorite side twisty thing because I love it. And yeah, so we're gonna come on to, if you want to keep going for Bridgeland, please feel free to go ahead. But otherwise, you're gonna come to your hands and knees. You're gonna bring both legs to your right, looking over to your left, so that my right cheek is on the floor and my knees are to the right. And you can relax over, or you can push into that left hand and shift your weight more towards your ear. And then slowly coming on out. Same thing other side. So your legs are gonna go to the left. You're looking to the right and putting the left side of your cheek onto the floor. Same thing, you can just relax here, or if you want, you can push into your right hand to shift the weight towards your ear a little bit more. And then you can slowly come on out. If you were doing bridges, if you're going to continue to do bridges, feel free to do that. But if you're done with bridges today and you were doing bridges, take a moment to fold over into a pike variation, whether it's a relaxed one and your chin is to your chest, or a plow, anything to reverse that bend. And all right, and then as per usual, tomorrow is a lot more of an intense. It's like pre-contortion, and that is at 6:05 to 7:20. I think, I forget. It's an hour and 15 minutes. But that's tomorrow. And then if you guys have any questions, comments, feedback, requests, things you like, things you didn't like, I'm going to pop my email down here. Feel free to shoot me an email. You can also hit me up on Insta, that's my handle. But yeah, I'll also stick around for a few more minutes if you guys have any questions, any comments, any of those things. I'll be hanging. Otherwise, see you next week. You guys are crushing it. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's great to see everybody. I really appreciate your presence. And hopefully it will be in person. You are so welcome.
Thank you, Christine.
You are so welcome.
A question.
Yeah.
So I don't know the technical term, but the sit and reach one straddle here where you fold over.
Yeah.
So you did like the option like this. Is this a good practice for if my pelvis naturally tilts back? I'm trying to work on getting my pelvic to fold more. That's the hardest part, is I'm taking pressure on my back when I'm doing that. So I guess what is a stretch? Is that the best thing I can do? The frog?
Sorry, say the last sentence you just said one more time.
The frog, I think that was the name that you called this one.
Mm-hmm. So the first stretch that you were saying was this one, right?
Correct.
Okay, so this stretch is when you're seated. It's more in your hamstrings. So that way when you come forward, that the tip forward and sticking your butt out actually is more of a hamstring stretch, so the back of your thighs, where the frog stretch is the inner thighs. So if you want to work on folding forward here, you can either work on sitting up tall here and think about like sticking your butt out a little bit, and this might be all you're at for now. And then over time, just shifting your shoulders forward, trying to keep your spine nice and long, sticking your booty out. So just like folding over. Other things, any kind of hamstring stretch. And in your hamstring stretches, like the thing that I said earlier, in the beginning of the warm up, which was kind of, I probably wasn't very clear with, when you have your chest on your thighs, I'm not going to straighten all the way because I have a hamstring issue, but if you think about sticking your butt